What's up, Llama Land? It's Amaday, and today we are picking back up with our series on how to build better bots. In today's installment, we discuss various techniques we can apply to make our bots move. There are limitations to this, however.
Alakablam!
As you'll see later in the video, as the bots move around what I like to call the track, they can often get snagged on the corners or edges of your builds. This is due to imperfections and repetition in the map, and as they race around the track, they may get caught up. Let's go check out the racetrack that I've installed here in the test area. She is a simple square composition with speed boosters set to slow. You can set your speed boosters at a higher difficulty, but I find slow to be just about right. We've got a ramp that we'll talk about later. And we have bots and trick tiles placed accordingly. You can check out our video, Bot Boxing, how to build better bots, for more details. And so like we did last time, we're going to place our trick tiles. Notice the bottom trick tile here is set to 2 seconds. You can ignore this feature, as I'm going to test it out in a separate section later on. The idea in theory being that the bot on the very top is boxed, so he'll pop up immediately. The bot underneath in the middle should drop down, and then the final section will become intangible in 2 seconds, and the last bot will then drop down, go up the ramp, and come around. However, that doesn't function, as I'll explain later. This ramp can be found in the indestructible gallery. It can be destroyed and it yields metal. You can use this to place a speed booster or bounce pad at an angle. Now let's jump into the action. The bots are working as intended. Both of them fell down and are now racing around the track. On these bots, I have them set for line of sight detection. You might want to consider using proximity. However, considerations have to be made, as with proximity, these bots, they won't mind shooting out their own platform. So unless you put them on an indestructible track or launch them, as I'll show later in videos, keep that in mind, that they might actually be sabotaging their own pathing. And because the platform that the bots were originally created on is now intangible due to the trick tile, we fall through the intangible trick tile onto the speed booster and start racing around the track.
Who's that?
Bitch. What's the matter?
The next thing I want to discuss is more aesthetics. Here I've simply flattened the floor tile that I'm using in the test demo, and you can see its effects. You can use other material, such as the cubes from the cube gallery.
I hate you.
It will be a pain, but repetition, practice makes perfect. You can see the contrast here using the brick platforming versus the black cube from the cube gallery. I think both of them have their own aesthetic and look very nice.
God, I am invincible!
taking our column pillar, and you can do this with nearly any object, doesn't have to be that, it's just for this particular build it matches the aesthetic of the build. So I took the columns and I'm turning them at about a 45-degree angle. Now I probably should move them out a little bit closer to the tracks. This is going to help push the bots out more towards the center of the speed boosters. As they race around the track, sometimes they'll get caught up on the walls because you've added extra detailing on the walls. That's why some of my maps, when I have my racetracks, I won't even have too much along the walls there. This is similar to the tower in the racetrack we just previewed. We have a spawn pad set at the top of the tower with a trick tile underneath it on a 2-second delay. And the floor beneath that has got a trick tile set to instant, no delay, as well as a speed booster set with no speed boost. As you'll see, when you're working with trick tiles underneath an object such as a spike trap or a speed booster, if the effect on top of that tile is an instantaneous one, such as a speed booster, then that effect will overwrite the trick tile. However, if it's a spike trap, you may fall right through it without being injured by the trap itself, as I'll show in a moment or two. Okay, now the speed booster is turned on, so instead of falling through that tile, it launched by the speed booster since it supersedes the trick tile action now. Here we glide through a spike trap with the trick tile and discover Pinhead's origins.
Welcome to hell.
Here we stick our head up through the intangible spike trap.
Ah! With their hands!
Finally, we see what happens when we just drop right through the trick tile. Hopefully you learned something today besides always backing up your maps. Do it after every minor change you make and you won't regret it. Speaking of regrets, smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss out on our newest video.
Good, because it's going to be filled. We'll keep going. You want another one?
I knew it! Yes! No!